Casper and Dennis here for Submission Radio, proudly brought to you by Manscaped. 20% off with the code Submission. We're standing here with Della, Maddalena. We're going to time travel a little bit. By the time you guys see this, it'll be next week, but we're actually ahead of UFC 293. Dude, I got to ask, what was it like the last few months since the Randy Brown win? Just trying to get an opponent, a million cancellations, date switches. What have the last few months been like for you?
Yeah, a lot of ups and downs. I was planning to have a busy year, so I'm still tracking on that, but yeah, just the last fight in particular was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of opponent changes last minute. But yeah, it's what to expect in this sport. You never know what you're going to get.
After everything that went, like the Sean Brady fight falling through, then Josiah, how hard was it to then switch up and fight the following week? And I imagine your body would have been peaking and everything. What was it like to go out then and try and do your best under those circumstances?
Yeah, obviously not ideal to... we've spent a lot of time working on the Sean Brady matchup, and then that changed last minute. And then, yeah, just trying to get the opponent. Then him pulling out after the weight cut and having to do the weight cut the week after. It was just a lot of ups and downs. But I felt pretty in the zone. I was sort of over there to fight, so I just stayed prepped to fight and just wished for the opponent to come through, which he did. So it worked out.
You're in a funny position, man, where you're in a position where some fighters get down the line where people aren't that keen on fighting you because they know the challenge that you hold, but you're still sort of fairly new in the UFC where you want to try and get as many fights as you can under your belt and sort of grow as a martial artist while also going through the division and staying active.
Yeah.
Gotta ask you, man, what is that like to deal with so early on in your journey?
It's been, to be honest, it hasn't been it's been pretty smooth sailing, Most of the time the UFC said there's an opponent, and yeah, I've normally said yes, and most of the time that's come through. Just the last fight, it was a bit more up and down, but I think that was just from the travel to Sydney sort of puts a lot of the US guys off. But yeah, no, it's been all right, and I think tracking on route to have some big fights in the next few fights. I think we'll have some big fights.
Well, just to be clear, man, you always say yes to the fights. It's just on the other side of the board. Sometimes people don't want to take the fight with you. I know, a friend of ours, Stephen Thompson, who's an absolute legend, that was a fight that we were kind of hoping would come together. What was your reaction when that ultimately kind of didn't come together?
It was pretty devastating. I was planning on fighting in Sydney, and then the UFC actually called me and said, would you fight Wonderboy the week after in Las Vegas? And yeah, I was so excited for that. I said straight away, yeah, I'm happy to sacrifice the Sydney card to fight Wonderboy. And then, a week sitting on that, and then that fell through. It's pretty upsetting, but yeah, I think Kevin Holland's also a great name, but yeah, hopefully I can see Wonderboy in the future if it comes together, if he sticks around for a few more fights. But yeah, we'll see.
That'd be amazing, man. I'd love to see you guys fight. What's it like being here for you this whole week anyway, knowing that in theory this is the card you should have been fighting on, and I still can't wrap my head around it. It's so bizarre. You think Jack Della, Aussie card, shoe in 100%, but instead you're fighting next week, Mexican independence. Just so bizarre.
So bizarre. Yeah, I was pretty certain even before my last fight, I was really looking forward to it. I was prepped to fight in front of an Aussie crowd, but the last 4 weeks I've sort of accepted that it's just wasn't meant to be, and back to Vegas we go. But yeah, it's being here now, it's wow, this would have been great if this was the end destination. But next time, there's always next year. And
Kevin Holland, he's a bit of a character, right? You go on the octagon with him, and it's almost that Nate Diaz effect where he might be talking to you the whole time. And when you're on top of him on the ground, he'll be telling you things, trying to I don't think he tries to get into people's heads, but he definitely works for him in certain circumstances with some fighters. What is the preparation like for a guy like Kevin Holland, especially during sparring? Do you have a guy that's designated to just talking to you the whole time?
No, we haven't really gone into that sort of thing. I trust someone to be in the zone. I trust that's just going to go literally in one ear out the other, and I'm going to be trying to damage him the whole time, and don't really care if he's talking or not. So we'll see. You never know. I've never really had an opponent like him, talking during the fight. So. But I'm going to try and be in the zone.
You might also be one of his most quiet opponents. Just no interest in talking whatsoever. You're kind of like the boogeyman in the division at the moment.
Yeah, that might put him off a bit, because I don't think I'm going to say anything back to him. If he tries to talk to me, I'm just trying to get after him.
He's tough. He's well-rounded. He's got a lot of experience. How do you kind of see this fight playing out when you think about it?
I think, he's unpredictable. Yeah, he's tough. He's a good fighter. He's fought, a lot of experience. So, yeah, I think it's unpredictable. I don't know how it's going to go down, but I think when he fights, you know he's going to bring the heat and he's going to come after me. So I expect, I think it's going to be a good fight. I think we're going to get in there and tear it up. And yeah, we're going to send it to the end.
Anything particular that you want to show in this fight as well, as you sort of ascend the division, climb the rankings?
Not really. I just want to show that I'm better than him. I want to like really piece him up, put on a masterclass and just let him know that we're not on the same level. That's my goal and that's what I'm going to do.
You mentioned you wanted to fight frequently. What's the plan if you come out unscathed and things go to plan? Like, do you want to try and get another fight this year if you can?
Yeah, 100%. I've always, like, even last year, I was pumped for I know it's very close, but the MSG card would be, I'd be into that. Like, if they were willing to and there was a good opponent lined up and if all goes well, yeah, I'd love to get on that. Otherwise, just wait till December. But yeah, I definitely plan on having 2 more this year. For sure. As in this one and one more and then...
Wow, 2 more this year?
Yeah, that's my plan. Including this one.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Nevertheless, that's still a busy schedule.
Yeah, that's it. I would love to get 4 a year every year for the coming years. I've never been in New York and it's like a destination. I've always thought it would be pretty cool and yeah, really just a destination. Legendary place. Great fights there.
Well, dude, I'll tell you, we are super excited to see you do your thing over in Vegas. Unfortunately, it's not in Australia, but the fans will be with you over as you go over in a co-main event spot against one of the most popular guys in the division. So excited to see your career and journey, man. We can't wait to see what's next. Hopefully MSG for a historic night. Thank you so much, Jack.
Cheers,
appreciate your time, man.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Jack, thanks so much, man.
Good to finally meet you, man.
Yeah.
Cheers.